I got excited about this audio, but I'm like, you know what? It's the bye week. Not a great time of year. They're not good. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. But Stefanski 06, 07, and 14. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I should have called for that. I was too busy messing with my wig. I apologize. So here's Kevin Stefanski on the Coach's Show. Total distraction by me. Owen, I'm sorry. Here is Kevin saying, Gabriel hasn't been all bad. Young QBs go have their struggles.
Young quarterbacks are going to have struggles at times in a game, could be a quarter, whatever it is. And obviously you hope with these young guys that they're all continuing to get better. And I know the quarterback position gets magnified in that discussion as well. But you're trying to just stack days, you're trying to stack games on top of each other. And I think there's been some really good moments.
So we don't stack wins anymore. We're just stacking positive days. That's where we're at.
Wake-ups.
We're stacking, can you get here on time? Yes, stack it. That's 2 in a row.
I want you to hear more of this.
Can we get a third day?
I want you to hear more of this. He was asked about how to get more vertical in the passing game. Survey Stefanski said.
As we do this week and during the bye week, you watch all these plays together and you're kicking yourself because it's one thing here and then it's one thing there where it's just stopping you from hitting those shots. They're there, but we have to do our job. It's not a player thing. It's an all of us thing. We have to do our job in terms of making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, and then we can start to hit these shots.
Okay.
Who's that a shot at?
Do you think that's a shot at anybody in particular?
Well, the coach is saying that it's available. The stuff they're calling is open.
Okay.
So make it happen. Is it more on the receivers or the quarterback? Part of the reason they were comfortable with elevating Dylan Gabriel as fast as they were.
I think it's got to be on the quarterback. There are times where some of these guys are open and he ain't seeing them. And you could hey, Joe didn't really see him either. So, you can put that on Kevin if you want to as well.
Well, you know what I'm getting at, Ken, is... And yeah, we have wide receiver issues, you're right. But, we've seen Judy. He's running his routes just fine. Maybe not Isaiah Bond. But Fannin, he's available. Njoku when he comes in. I guess what I'm getting at is, do you think there is already buyer's remorse on Dylan Gabriel? Because when he came here, what was the thought? The thought was he's quarterbacked more games in college football history than anybody else. So at the very least, he should be able to hit the layups.
I bet he probably wishes he was still in college. I bet he wishes he had the same lawyer Diego Pavia does. Here's Kevin Stefanski. I want one more clip from this. Here's how he says that others can help Gabriel get better.
I think there's things that we can do better around him. And again, I put that on me and the coaches and certainly his teammates where we can support him. And then when it's there, we got to trust that he'll let it rip and we'll come away with that play that we're just not making at this moment in that game to flip the game.
Oh, he's blaming the quarterback. Yeah. Trusting to let it rip.
I wonder, and when you're guys, I know you guys are going to be annoyed by this. They're 2-6, and the general manager isn't talking. So when the general manager don't talk and when they don't say much, I got nothing to do but speculate. And some of the speculation, people have been throwing around theories all week. Lima wanted to bring up later on today, and he wanted to bring it up throughout the week, the whole agent thing about Dylan Gabriel and all that stuff. Don't do it yet. You throw around theories. Is Kevin just telling us right now, it's like, hey, you know what? I didn't really want to play him this soon, and we're just trying to have some nice days.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I go back to that first clip. Okay? Again, 06 again if you can. I want people to hear this. This is Stefanski again. Said, young quarterback's going to struggle. They're going to have days like this. Here's about Gabriel. Go ahead.
Young quarterbacks are going to have struggles at times in a game, could be a quarter, whatever it is. And obviously you hope with these young guys that they're all continuing to get better. And I know the quarterback position gets magnified in that discussion as well. But you're trying to just stack days, you're trying to stack games on top of each other. And I think there's been some really good moments.
You're just talking about stacking days. That's all he's talking about. Maybe he meant wins. He meant wins.
He's not talking about wins. He's not talking about making a run. He's not talking about hanging around in a bad division for a potential playoff berth. He's not talking about any of that stuff.
Alex Wright did yesterday for what's worth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a player. You're 2-6. You have to. Honestly, if you think about it like this, it's a bad division. If you get to 3-6 next week, I know that the Ravens, hey, they've won 2 in a row now. They're 3-5. They're kind of getting up off the mat. You got to try to talk yourself into it if you're a player. Guys, I know they're not going to make that run, but he has to talk himself as a player. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the coach isn't he's so far removed from that. He's so far removed from
the coach isn't discussing
even stacking, big time moments or anything like that. He's just like, yeah, we're basically play to play right now with this quarterback. And we need him to let it rip. The offense is available. Guys are available in this offense. He's got to be able to trust it. And I think that's why I asked you the question, does he have buyer's remorse already? Because I think the expectation was that he would come in and be able to do those things.
I don't think he has buyer's remorse. I think he has, I can't believe I had to put this guy in here this soon. And then I can't believe Joe was not doing it. Okay, so I'm not going to take back what I said at the beginning of the season, 4 games into the season, where it's like, this guy, he don't have it anymore.
It wasn't good with Joe.
He doesn't have it right now, and he doesn't have it with these wide receivers. I mean, again, I cannot get through a sentence without blaming another person and then also blaming Kevin. You cannot just simply say that one guy, even the players, that one guy's a victim. You can't do it. It's impossible. So now you have to look at it like I start to vomit at the mouth because it's all coming out. I can't get through a sentence and say, well, Kevin's got to scheme up the offense. Okay, well, Ken, what are you going to scheme up for these guys who can't get open? Okay, Ken, well, what are you going to do about Dillon Gabriel? Okay, well, what's Dylan Gabriel going to do? Okay, who drafted Dylan Gabriel? Who really drafted Dylan Gabriel? And I'm sure Kevin probably does like Dylan Gabriel. Did he want to put him out there? How many third-rounders get put out there within a month of the season? How many third-rounders have to be put out there when you have to put them out there in a month of the season? See, this is what goes back to Kenny Pickett, because you could have started Kenny Pickett, brought in Joe, or you could have done vice versa. You could have done that. Now, Kenny Pickett, I don't think would have saved anything except time for Dylan Gabriel or for Shedeur or anybody else. See, that's what I think he's telling you, Tone. In so many ways, young quarterbacks are going to struggle. Yeah, especially guys who were probably overdrafted in the 3rd round. I mean, we did this before. Guys, we're just repeating history.
No, you're right about the Kenny Pickett part of this.
I look at Dylan Gabriel. I hope this isn't, and I know that this has become an argument between some fans, and maybe because you take it in on the internet and it's in snippets. Let me say this. I think some of the stuff that's been said about Dylan Gabriel has been pretty nasty. But let me clarify my comments, and I'm not going to speak for you. Let me just speak for me. I'm trying to look at Dylan Gabriel in the prism of he's starting too soon. He's starting way too soon. I thought he was a career backup. I think he's going to be a career backup. But I also know he's out there way too soon, and he's in a situation where it's not set up for his success. He's in a situation where it's not set up for him to be a viable option for the future right now. I'm serious about that. So now, if I still had Joe, if Kevin still had Joe, and say he does believe in his heart of hearts, and this is going to be an unpopular thing, that Shedeur isn't ready to go, that he could always just have Dylan sit, Joe has a little more time, Dylan could see the field. I told you before, this is a crazy comparison. I only make the comparison because one guy had way higher of a ceiling, and should have had more pressure on him, but you're a quarterback for the Browns, so you're always going to have pressure on you. Look at Josh Allen. There's no comparison, none, between him and Dylan Gabriel. The only thing I will say, Josh Allen started out rough, got an injury, sat out a month. Let the game come to him, got to see it from the different perspective, got himself healthy. He's been off and running ever since. He's been off and running. So you can't tell me, well, once they're out, they're out. No, because he's a career backup, so he's going to have to deal with this his entire career. So what Kevin is telling you, to me, is that this is all too soon. This is all too sudden. And I got to tell you, I think Kevin's saying don't expect different results with anybody else who's going to play this year. You read between the lines on that one. Because the only other veterans on that team are one guy that is just basically styrofoam. That's all he is packing peanuts for this football team. That's Bailey Zappi. And the other guy who's even scarier to fans than Halloween night. So you don't want to deal with that. And so Kevin's got to figure out. I mean, he's got 9 more games. You're going,
so many games.
All of a sudden now you're old Mother Hubbard. You don't know if you got enough quarterbacks to make it through. You're not disagreeing with anything I'm saying.
No, I'm not disagreeing with it. I just think that...
And that paints Kevin out to be a victim. He's not. Look at what other quarterbacks are doing.
Yeah, they're going to take this segment and say we're just defending
No, that's
Kevin.
ridiculous. Look, even Tyler Huntley had some success. Mm-hmm. Tyler Huntley didn't have any success with us, okay? Tyler Huntley, Baker Mayfield, credit where it's due. And even Joe Flacco, I know his wide receiver room's much better. Well, this doesn't let Andrew Berry off the hook either. That's 3 different guys. 3 of them. So this is evidence against Kevin, too. Again, it's not to make anybody out to be a victim. It's all not good, Tone.
No, I think Kevin at the very least thought Dylan Gabriel would be able to come in and just make the layups happen.
And he's behind.
And he's not even doing that.
He can't even hit the layups.
So what is that? What is left?
He can't hit the layups.
So it's going to lead everybody that's with us right now listening or in the chat. They're just going to be like, well, then this is stupid. Go to the next guy. Who's the next guy?
Shedeur. The next guy is Shedeur. And that's where it's like, at the very least, listen, I like the guy. I want him to be successful. I'm on record many, many times. I know that. And anybody who's jumping in, oh, whatever. No, go back to April. Go back to all the other time. I'm not as supportive as Jonathan Peterlin, but I like him. At the very least, I'd be more entertained. At the very least, I'd be more entertained, which is a terrible reason. But you are professional football, and you're 2-6, and we're already looking at guys in college right now.